Hello, my friend. My name is Tian Garcia, and welcome to this tutorial discussing major chords. One thing that is very important is the method that we're going to use to learn these chords, which is the circle of fifths, which we go from C, go to G, D, A, E, B, F sharp or G flat, and then you go to a C sharp or D flat, then you go to G sharp or A flat, then you go to D sharp or E flat, B flat or A sharp, F, and back to C. The importance of that method is that you will notice once you start to learn songs that in any part of this circle of fifths, for instance, let's take A major. The chord that starts, that goes before A major is D, and the chord that goes after that is E major. You will realize after a while of learning songs that D and E major are really important for A major. There are the chords that more often than not are used in a progression for that chord in particular, and that happens all the time with the rest of the notes of the circle of fifths. So that's very important. It's a very efficient way of actually practicing. I mean, you can actually try to practice just chromatically, but there's not a lot of benefit to that, and it actually is kind of boring. So I teach my students always to use the circle of fifths, not only for major, but for all chords, majors, minors, major sevenths, suspended, whatever it is. Very effective way of practicing. Major chords. Start with C major on the root position, playing C, E, G. First inversion, E, G, C. Second inversion, G, C, E, C major. G major, root position, G, B, and D. First inversion, B, D, and G. Second inversion, D, G, and B. G major. D major, root position, D, F sharp, and A. D major. First inversion, F sharp, A, and D. Second inversion, A, D, F sharp, D major. A major, root position, A, C sharp, E. First inversion, C sharp, E, and A. Second inversion, E, A, C sharp, A major. E major, root position, E, G sharp, B. First inversion, G sharp, B, and E. Second inversion, B, E, and G sharp, E major. B major, root position, B, D sharp, F sharp. First inversion, D sharp, F sharp, and B. Second inversion, F sharp, B, D sharp, B major, F sharp or G flat, starting with F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. Of course, this is our root position as always. First inversion, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp. Second inversion, C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, F sharp major. Let's go to C sharp or D flat. Root position, C sharp or D flat, F, G sharp or A flat. Now we go to our first inversion, which will be F, G sharp or A flat, and C sharp or D flat. And now our second inversion is G sharp or A flat, C sharp or D flat, and then F. That is C sharp or D flat major. Now we go to what is called G sharp or A flat. So we're going to start with G sharp or A flat, C, and D sharp or E flat. Now we go to our first inversion, which is going to be C, D sharp or E flat, and then G sharp or A flat. That's the first inversion. And then second inversion is going to be D sharp or E flat, G sharp or A flat, and C. G sharp or A flat. All right, now we move to D sharp or E flat. Starting with D sharp or E flat, G, and then B flat or A sharp. Root position. And we're going to go to the first inversion, starting with G, A sharp or B flat, D sharp or E flat. And then we go to our second inversion, it will be B flat or A sharp, D sharp or E flat, and G. All right, now we go to A sharp or B flat, most commonly known as B flat. So we're gonna get B flat or A sharp, D natural, and F. That's your root position of B flat or A sharp. Now we're gonna go to our first inversion, which is gonna be D, F, and B flat or A sharp. And then after that, we're gonna go to F, B flat or A sharp, and D. Second inversion. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna do F major, which is gonna be, our root position is gonna be F, A, and C. Then we're gonna go to our A, C, and F for our first inversion. And then we're gonna go to our C, F, and A, second inversion. And that is F major. And then that's our 12 major chords. Another thing that is very important is once you start to play the circle of fifths, you realize once you get, for instance, to F sharp, that F sharp chord it's also called G flat major, right? It's the same chord, it's just a different name. F sharp will come handy when you're playing in the key of, for instance, D major, or sometimes even when you're playing the key of A major. You will find this F sharp major sometimes appear in the writing of the song. But if you're playing the key of D flat major, you will see that the same chord is now called G flat major. And that's the same chord, but it's very important to know that difference because it really depends on music notation and a very efficient way of knowing, what chord do you need to be using. So remember, very important, F sharp and G flat are the same chord. The same applies to C sharp major or D flat major, exactly the same chord. And then you go to G flat major or A flat major. Once again, if you're playing the key of E major, you will see from time to time this G sharp major appear. Or you're playing the key of, once again, D flat major, you will see the same chord, but this time will be called as A flat major, right? And so we go with D sharp. That's how I call it in the video, but this most commonly is named E flat major. Actually the key of E flat major is very important in popular music, in all kinds of music. So you won't see a lot of this D sharp unless it's in a different key. And then last but not least, very important, B flat major, which in the video I call A sharp major, but really it's B flat major, the most common way of calling it, the key of B flat major, which is very important because it works a lot with G minor. So those are very important things to know when it comes to the name of the chords. Learn them all because all of them are very useful whenever you are learning songs or whether you're writing songs. Good luck with that. Other thing is very important, when you're learning your chords, you're going to be learning inversions. Okay? So the traditional way of playing the inversion is that you're going to use your thumb, your middle finger, and then your pinky. And then if you had to stretch it like this, where you had these two notes in the middle, you're going to use your thumb, going to use your index, and then your pinky. Sometimes you're going to see me using only the first three fingers, which is thumb, I'm gonna use my index and then my middle, and that's because sometimes I like to do stuff like this. But the traditional and probably most effective way of doing it is using those three fingers that I mentioned before. So whenever you learn a chord, practice it using the root position and then first and second inversions. Very important, because once you start to use your inversions, you should be able to do things all over the piano that are going to enhance the sound of your music. So everything that you practice, you should know the root position and also the first and second inversion, at least for the major and minor chords, and then most of the suspended and major 7 chords that you will see in the future. For practice your inversions, and you will thank me later.